Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode number 153 of the Scumbags of Wrestling Podcast. It is Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. I'm Shawn, coming to you from London, Ontario, Canada, as always. And we are actually just a few hours away from my 45th birthday. So we put out a link that if anybody wants to join, say hello, promote their own stuff, give birthday greetings, whatever you want to do. I got an open house forum going on for you tonight. Now, just want to quickly thank everybody for joining us on Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or everywhere you get your podcasts from later on tonight when it's up on there. Right now, you can catch us live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So thank you for joining us. We are sponsored by Cool Bet, and just want to remind everybody to stay cool and bet responsibly. We are part of the Ontario Indie Podcast Network and the Genres Podcast Network over in the UK. Cool Bets also sponsors us with the Prediction League, and you can win this championship belt if you earn enough points by just watching WWE, NXT, Impact Wrestling, and AEW pay-per-views. So now that I got all that stuff over and done with, I usually am bringing in Stephen O'Neill. And he's not with us at the moment, but I got another Stephen that is taking us up on the offer. And I don't know if I'm worthy, really, of him being here. You guys have heard about him a lot, but there's something that I'm pointing up right now that he was on the bump yesterday with Kevin Owens and the crew of the bump, including Caleb Braxton. And now he's part of the Scumbags of Wrestling podcast. And we're talking about Steven Spice. Steven,
I'm sorry, Stephen O'Neill, but I think I'm way better. No meaning to hurt your feelings.
I know. Well, you never know. You definitely have a lot of
I'm hearing a lot of echoing, like in your voice.
Okay, sorry about that.
There.
Excellent. Thank you for letting me know about that going on. I actually was a couple seats away from you at the last Smash Wrestling event that I was at in Toronto. I think it was a couple weeks just before the shutdown in February of 2020. Yes, 2020. And you and your mom were actually a couple of seats away from me. And hearing you sass back at the wrestlers is awesome. If anybody gets a chance to catch you at a live event, you're definitely a treat to see because you know your stuff. But how are you doing?
Good. But before I talk about what I'm supposed to talk about, I just wanted to plug something.
Go for it.
If you don't have the Steven's Wrestling Journey shirt, then you just went local. Go buy it now. It's on Pro Wrestling D's.
Exactly. I'm going to put that graphic up right now that you're talking about because I also found the other one that has you on it. And that's by your friends over at Pro Wrestling Junkies. And so there's the Stevens 3 shirt that's on the left-hand side of the screen. And then there's the Scumbags of Wrestling Support Independent Wrestling shirt that's available at our store at Scumbags Wrestling. And you can also get the poster, which your mom showed a picture to me this weekend of where you actually have yours.
Shirt in my cupboard.
That's awesome. So we've been promoting you for a long while now, about a year since the independent wrestling comic book one came out, and all our proceeds from that are coming your way. But you want to tell everybody about what Steven's Wrestling Journey is?
Steven's Wrestling Journey is what I started out of my heart because I just started loving wrestling, and after a few years, I started Steven's Wrestling Journey, and I just went on toy hunts, anything wrestling, pretty much.
Yeah, you, as everybody can see right behind you, you have a whack load of toys.
Yeah. Hey! You went too far.
Figures?
Don't ever. Yeah, you. Good boy.
Of course, that is the proper term.
My heart. I poured my heart and soul to this.
Yeah, and people can check out your page and see when you receive them and sometimes unbox them.
I actually just got a new one. It's a one of a kind. Well, maybe two of a kind because the person that sent me might have her own. Thunder Rosa sent me an actual figure of her.
Wow, that's
Signed.
really cool.
Signed.
Yeah, that's not going to be too many people having that going on. That's for sure. So, what else do you got going on? Their mom's talking to me on the weekend about you're raising $25,000, and
Yes, because Sick Kids is doing this nice thing. Put me on this chart that actually they usually do it for people that have passed away, but they're doing it for me because I've been through. And what this charity walk is where I walk around probably the downtown, am I right? And I raise money for Kiari research my condition because we are actually behind in the States research and we should be in front of the States research. That's what I think and believe, but I don't want any kid to go through what I went through. I went through so much, and I actually got traumatized mid while doing that.
yeah, and your mom had posted that just recently you ended up having another surgery and are just coming off recovery from that. It's awesome. I think you're now able to eat pizza.
Actually, you're a little late to ask that because I'm all the stitches are out.
Excellent.
Except for my nose. My nose is bothering me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I got pizza.
Yeah, that was the upside. Your mom was saying that it was going to be a couple of weeks before you were going to be able to do that, and I sure it was going to fly by for you, and you'd be back to eating
pizza. Wasn't too bad, but chips was killing me.
Oh, okay. You're addicted to those? And so then how was your experience with the bump yesterday?
Well, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. It was like a dream come true. I'm hoping I will be on there again, but who knows what will happen.
Yeah, I ended up coming at home early from work yesterday, and I just turned on my TV, and because I recorded NXT on Tuesday, it was still on the WWE Network, and they were talking to Kevin Owens, and then brought you in, so I was like, perfect timing, and watched your whole thing, and how you stole Kayla's heart, and she's waiting to be interviewed by you as well. So,
and I'm gonna be opening up a batch of new questions.
Excellent. And then you have your
all of the Bump family.
Yeah, and you have your 3 question segments that you do with Pro Wrestling Junkies.
Yep, Pro Wrestling Junkies is like my best friend right now because of the pandemic. I don't have anybody to talk to.
Understandable.
So, Pro Wrestling Junkies is where I just saw friendship.
That's really cool that they were able to reach out to you and do that.
Like Jacob, he's like one of my best friends. I really like him.
They're really cool guys over there. So that's why I wanted to make sure that not only our shirt is talked about, but I wanted to give a shout out to the shirt that they designed for you as well. So who's on your dream list of potential interviews?
Well, The Rock, John Cena, the Bump family, Matt again, and Tyson Kidd again, Chris Van Vliet for the 4th time, I believe.
Wow.
Natty, Chris Jericho and Cody, and Stone Cold. I've got a few. You don't want to hear the whole list. Kane, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. You don't want to hear the whole list. We'll be here for days.
I can imagine. I know a lot of those people are on my list, and
here's the last one. Here's the last one because I don't want to be sitting here for days because I'm going to get cramps. So here's the last one that I'll say, Roman Reigns. I would love to interview him again. He was actually a nice guy.
Yeah, and you have a picture with him and your brother on your banner of your page over at Steven's Wrestling Journey. So it's a really cool moment seeing the head of the table and talking to the big dog. So congratulations on everything that you end up doing along with wrestling. I know you're a huge fan of Channing Decker as well, wearing his shirts, and he representing him.
I don't know where the figure is. It's locked in my bucket of abyss. So, oh wait, never mind. He almost got lost in the bucket of abyss. I call it a bucket of abyss because it's like a natural abyss.
Just a lot of figures in there and just all over the place. So Channing actually has his own figure? I haven't seen one of those before.
No. I sent someone was very nice and used one of their figures. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Terry Funk. And for the head, I sent in my own Jax again because I'm like, anything for a Channing Decker figure.
Excellent. So that was great that they were able to do that. Yeah. So, I'm awesome to have you here tonight. If you got to get going, I definitely will keep on plugging away for you and making sure we raise money for you. I know I have...
Want the shirts too.
Yep. There's shirts from both us and Pro Wrestling Junkies. And I was going to say, I know I have a $500 donation to add to your current campaign towards your $25,000. So keep up the great work and spread the love and passion for wrestling.
One more thing. Okay. Happy birthday!
Thanks, buddy.
Night.
Have a good night.
You too.
So there we go. Steven from Steven's Wrestling Journey joining us. Crystal Spice's mom popped up and we chatted a little bit ago throughout the day because I wanted to get the information. Some of the other stuff involving Steven's current program is the hashtag Steven's Hearts for Chiari, and they're saying help Steven for Chiari malformation research. Their goal of raising $25,000. Currently, they're at $5,100. You're going to get another $500 from myself and Scumbags of Wrestling. Thanks to the support that everybody has given to us by buying those T-shirts that are available at prowrestlingtees.com/Scumbags Wrestling. And of course, once again, going to give another plug for his friends over at prowrestlingtees.com and Pro Wrestling Junkies. They help host Steven's Wrestling 3 and the 3 questions he poses to the different talent. And I believe there's also an interview with Kevin Owens that was recently done there. So, great for being here. We're going to keep on spreading the word. And if you want to get in part of Steven's current fundraising, go to fundraise.sickkidsfoundation.com/Stevens Heart and /home. So we're going to keep plugging away on that. It's going to be for, I believe, June and July. We're getting more details as Sick Kids Hospital puts this up together, and we're going to be doing that all the time. So anytime you buy those shirts from us, it's totally supporting Steven and the research over at Sick Kids Hospital. Now we're going to jump into our wrestling news. Steven is unfortunately not joining us. I haven't heard from him. He did have some family health issues with a family member earlier this week. Just getting the right wording, sorry. But I was hoping he was going to end up talking about the first topic, and that being New Jack. Unfortunately, passed away last week, just after our podcast. I think it came out Friday about Jerome Young, New Jack, passing away, 1963 to 2021. Of course, everybody knows New Jack from his time in ECW, and of course, watching Dark Side of the Ring, where they talked about everything that went on with him, and of course with mass transit. But there was a lot more to Jerome's life beyond that. So he passed away at age 58 and was born January 3rd, 1963, and he's from Greensboro, North Carolina. He primarily went by New Jack the whole time and was trained by Ray Candy and debuted in 1992. He's worked for USWA from 92 to 93, North Georgia Wrestling Alliance 93 and 94. Stephen talked about it a couple times when we were doing the Fantasy Warfare tournament, how he was part of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and that's when the gangsters sort of came together with Mustafa, Saeed, and they were there from 94 to 95, and eventually made their way to ECW. And that's where things kind of took a different change in more of the hardcore style, but he was more of a technical wrestler over in Smoky Mountain. After that, he ended up working XPW, Total, TNA, off and on between 2003 and 2010, and took some time off. Of course, we know about the mass transit issue with that going a little too far, and of course, unfortunately, his untimely passing last week. So we want to send thoughts and prayers and share great memories of Jerome Young. Stephen has recommended a bunch of times to check out his Smoky Mountain run there, and it definitely will change what you think of Jerome and New Jack in general. So just looking at some of the highlights and everything going on this week. When we last left you, we were looking at WrestleMania Backlash. It was going to be a pay-per-view on Sunday, and we did the Scumbags Prediction League. The results pretty simple. A lot of people got them right. There was a lot of 6 for 6 going on. There was a pre-show with Sheamus defeating Ricochet, and some sort of weirdness where Ricochet took his clothes, but then came back, but then Monday took him again and led to another match between the two. But Rhea Ripley opened the show, retaining her title over Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Then the Mysterio family ended up beating Dirty Dogs to become the tag team champions. And Damian Priest beat The Miz in a eye-rolling, why are we here? Zombies coming around. Of course, it was based on promoting Batista's new movie, but that happened. Damian Priest did get the win over Miz, and unfortunately, Miz ended up suffering his first real injury in all this time that he's been with WWE, with a torn ACL, which is going to keep him out for a little bit. And it's amazing that all this time he's been there, that he hasn't had a major injury. He's also said recently that he's done going against celebrities. He wouldn't mind working with them in the ring or as manager or doing interviews and stuff like that. But facing celebrities, he's pretty much done doing stuff like that. We saw Bianca Belair retain her SmackDown Women's Championship over Bayley. Bobby Lashley ended up defeating Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. It was probably one of the best matches of the night, especially considering 3 big men doing a lot of stuff that is not known for large guys to be doing. And of course, Roman Reigns and Cesaro went just over 27 minutes and ended up having quite the match themselves with no outside interference and a clean win with Roman Reigns retaining the championship over Cesaro. And then, unfortunately, then we saw Seth Rollins come in and beat up Cesaro, so it looks like we're going to have more going on with that. And they also announced that instead of it being either Extreme Rules or Money in the Bank, which I was expecting to be Money in the Bank happening as their next pay-per-view, it's now going to be Hell in a Cell, being moved up from October to June. And that's going to happen, I believe, June 20th, which is Father's Day. And so we're going to end up, I'm guessing part of the move up is involving the fact that Jimmy Uso is back, and they're going to redo what happened with Jay and Roman, and this time it's going to be Jimmy against Roman coming up for that, and we're going to see Jimmy end up falling in line, and eventually the Usos going after the Mysterios to try and get the tag team titles. So that was what happened on WrestleMania Backlash. Their next one, as I said, is going to be Hell in a Cell on the 20th. And before that, they're going to have NXT Takeover in Your House. And that's happening, I believe, on the 16th of June, just 13th of June. That stands reason a week before Hell in a Cell. So that's what's going on lately with WWE. They also are gearing up for next week. Is going to be AEW Double or Nothing, and next Friday is the next episode of Dynamite. So that's going to happen over the next couple of the next week. So be able to preview what's happening on Dynamite, and of course AEW's Double or Nothing second event with that. But there is news coming out of AEW this week, and that included the fact that they not only finished the card, but they announced that the third hour of AEW television is going to be making its way to TV, and that's going to happen August 13th on TNT, and it's going to be a show called Rampage, beginning Friday at 10 p.m. So after you're done watching SmackDown, you can flip over to TNT and watch Rampage. Now, this third hour was also offered to AEW as a third hour to Dynamite, but Tony Khan was totally against trying to do a 3 hour just like Raw does. And I don't blame him, because a lot of people's complaints about Raw is the fact that it's a little bit of a burnout sitting through 3 hours, and it's definitely noticeable with how the ratings have gone. People are begging for Raw to go back to 2 hours, just like how SmackDown is 2 hours. But as long as they have that deal with USA, I don't see that happening. There's too much money at stake for them to do that. But that's what's going on with AEW. But then there was a little bit of glitch also with the fact that TNT and Warner Media and everything that's going on, there's another merger also, I believe, with AT&T and Discovery that might affect Warner Media, but it's not going to affect AEW too much. But because they are picking up part of the NHL schedule, and NHL has Wednesday nights, they're going to be probably taking that spot on TNT, and so negotiations ended up happening, and Tony Khan was really good at negotiating, because they're going to go over to TBS, so I expect a change in the TNT title to TBS title for that, for starters, but they're going to go over to TBS, and Dynamite will be happening on Wednesdays from 8 until 10 on TBS, and then Fridays will be Rampage from 10 until 11, happening Friday nights. And part of that negotiation also included 4 specials on TNT, which will almost be like old school Clash of the Champion events for them. So maybe instead of having all the specials like they had with Bash at the Beach and the different theme ones, they'll save those for the special Clash of Champion type of events, and that'll happen starting in 2022. So a little bit of moving going on with AEW in that regards. And I got a comment over here. Oh, some bad audio. I don't know what's going on today. Thank you, Dad, for letting me know about that. I don't know. Could be some stuff going on with my air conditioning as well, possibly buzzing. But I hope not. Thank you, though, for letting me know, and hopefully that corrected what's going on. But yeah, so that's what's going on over that way. And then WD ended up releasing a bunch of people yesterday from NXT, and most notably today was Velveteen Dream. And so I'm not sure if that's been totally confirmed, but other ones have been confirmed. And other names that have been released include referee Drake Wirtz. He was quite the piece of work there. People were afraid to be around him because he was doing rallies of anti-masking and thinking that masks are there to help people kidnap children, and just kind of a weird guy. And yeah, not really comforting to have him around backstage going on with that. Alexander Wolf, who just recently got taken out of Imperium, he got let go. Kavita Devi, she was the first Indian female competitor for WWE, but she's been gone for a while because of family health issues. So that might be part of the reason why she's been released. Vanessa Bourne, she was brought up to the main roster but never used, and so she's unfortunately gone. Jessamine Duke, we saw her at Raw Underground do one night there and then gone. Skylar Story, or Brandy Lauren, I believe is her name on Twitter. She's been let go. Ezra Judge is gone as well. And another surprise for myself was referee Jake Clemens being let go. I remember seeing Jake at independent shows. Anthony Pickard is trying to join. If you see the logo, the post that you have on our Facebook page, you can see the link there, and yeah, I'll definitely let you in, Anthony. So just click that link. I will see you pop up below, and I'll bring you in. You don't have to download anything to be part of it. Check out our Facebook page, just with the posting for tonight's episode of the Scumbags Wrestling Podcast, and that's on our Facebook page. And there's a link just for you to come and join us and promote whatever you want, send well wishes, or talk about wrestling, whichever you want to do. We have a open house going on here. But some of the other news of the week includes, I mentioned about The Miz. Fans are confused on how to perceive Angel Garza. Angel Garza is doing heel tactics on TV. You got the face commentator crapping on him, that being Byron Saxton, and you got the heel commentator praising him, and apparently the director, for people who were listening and watching along with the Thunderdome, are being encouraged to cheer him as he does dastardly things. So I don't know what they're trying to do, whether they're trying to make him into the next Eddie Guerrero, and the dastardly things are cool, and so they're going to try and do that. But yeah, if anybody can figure out what they're doing with Angel Garza, please let me know, because I'm confused as well. There's been backlash over how A&E presented Randy Savage's biography and how he treated Elizabeth. Randy's own brother, Lanny, wrote an article for Pro Wrestling Stories to shoot down the story that Jerry Lawler told about Randy locking Elizabeth away in closets when he was not around, and just to keep her away from other talent, from checking her out or harassing her. But Lanny is definitely refuting any of those issues. But he also commented on the fact that not everybody has a perfect marriage, and even pointed a finger at Jerry Lawler for having 3 failed marriages, and has no room to talk about how somebody else's marriage is perceived and looked at. Shinsuke Nakamura was just recently on Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions podcast, and he talked about his match against Brock Lesnar in New Japan. He was asked about having a rematch with Brock and said if the opportunity ever arose, that he would definitely do it again. AEW announced that they're doing the return to the road on July 7th in Miami, July 14th in Austin, Texas, July 21st in Dallas. A lot of people speculated, and the talk at least was that WWE would not be returning to the road until SummerSlam, but now it seems like they're targeting July 16th as a return to at least a couple of venues, or at least a venue for that weekend, and bringing in fans as maybe an experiment. And that weekend would be July 16th for a SmackDown on the Friday, July 18th, and this could be also why they moved the Money in the Bank pay-per-view away from June, and it's speculated it's going to go to July 18th, and that's where they're going to do that in front of fans. I guess it's a lot better than doing the cinematic version that they had last year. And then the 19th would be Monday Night Raw. So if WWE is able to successfully do that, then we could see them back on the road more often. Of course, obviously checking out COVID protocols, and they'll probably go to states and cities where that's a lot looser, and people are able to go in full capacity. And those states like Florida and Texas definitely stand out. Possibly even Nevada, I've heard, as a possibility of being able to open up in that regards. And then they'll hopefully figure out where SummerSlam is going to be. There's no official announcement on those dates, so it's still just speculated. But where there's smoke, there's usually fire in some regards on that one. And there's also talk that when they do return to different arenas, that Raw and SmackDown will have new sets, changing from what they were doing before when they were on the road. And I believe Raw had that turnpike that they had, that half pipe, which Kevin Owens ended up running and using that one time, which was pretty cool. And also SmackDown had the little sort of tunnel pieces along the ramp. So those are potential things that are going on, and I'm not sure what's going on with Anthony Pickard. Yeah, definitely am waiting for, if you're going to join us, send me a message on Facebook, and I can also directly send you that link if you're wanting to join us. Tessa Blanchard and her husband, Daga, were at Dustin Rhodes Training School. There's still question where Tessa is going to return to wrestling, which for which company. Of course, there's still talk that she has not even talked to AEW due to Tony Khan's view on the issues she had years ago with some racial overtones going on. And we already know his status on how he feels about Hogan for that same regard. So she may or may not have a place available in AEW, but she also did some training with Bayley and Sasha Banks recently. So there's many places she could go, but be nice to see her back in the ring eventually, now that that's happening. So if Anthony still can't find the link, if you send me a message on Facebook, I will definitely send you a link, Anthony. So I have that available. Oh, okay. It's Crystal. She wants. Sorry, I'm just going to answer quickly a thing. But yeah, we're doing everything that way. Yeah, I'm going to send her that. No, not that one. Gotta love live podcasting. And yeah, so we're just going to get her in here. I think Crystal wants to join us. So we're going to do that. It's Steven's mom. So we're getting that done. Sorry, everyone. And I love live. Okay, so that's good to go. Let's see what happens if that works. Anyways, back to the news that we're talking about. And Bray Wyatt seems to have been MIA right now due to severe depression. He was very close friends with Brody Lee, and when he was Luke Harper and the Wyatt family, the untimely passing of Brody hit Bray really hard. And when he came back for WrestleMania against uh, Randy Orton, he really wasn't in the greatest place physically or mentally, and it showed. And that's probably why he ended up leaving or losing the way he did at WrestleMania. Because, yeah, I know I expected the Fiend to go over, especially after everything that was going on with him in that regards. And John Moxley has a book coming out called Mox. So be on the lookout for that. They'll be having how he started and where he is right now. And Crystal was able to get the link, so I'm going to bring her in. Hello again.
Happy
How are you?
birthday.
Thank you very much.
I'm good. Got any exciting plans for your birthday?
Family, I think from Windsor, my in-laws are coming to visit, and we're going to do our garden. But I'm off now for a long 4-day weekend, and I'm just waiting to crack open one of these. So
Nice.
yeah, I got a 6-pack given to me as well early. Yeah, so I'm going to be cracking that open soon. So yeah, I saw Stephanie McMahon ended up tweeting and including you guys.
Yeah,
So,
that totally blew all of our minds. I think Steve, I had to actually stop Steven because when I showed him that she had done that, he because he was in school when she did it, and he stood up on his bed and he like fell backwards because he was so in shock that that she did that, because he was over the moon that it reached her of all people, like, and that she said, you know, I need to learn some stuff from you. So he's was totally touched by it. We all were. It's been such a whirlwind.
yeah, like how the connection has been for doing that appearance on the bump yesterday. But then, you know, if you go through his pictures, he's met so many different wrestlers, including Stephanie and Triple H. So when
Yeah, that's
you
actually.
see,
Sorry,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. When you see her tweet something like that, you definitely gives the impression that she remembers Steven as he wasn't just another child that she encountered, just like Connor was.
Yeah, no. First of all, Stephen is as you've seen a child that's hard to forget,
Very
as
much
Kevin
so.
pretty much pointed out yesterday on the bump. But yeah, no. So the story behind him meeting Stephanie and Triple H is actually kind of a special one for us. Triple H came to Toronto in 2018 to the Fan Expo, and along with Charlotte Flair, Miz, and AJ Styles. But Steven unfortunately couldn't go to that one because he was recovering from brain surgery. So he missed out on it. So when they announced that Triple H and Stephanie were going to do a signing for All Money Raised was Connor's Cure, the tickets sold out so fast. And honestly, like, we wanted to go so badly, and I'm like, I'll buy anybody's tickets that are not gonna go, you know, because I knew the money went to charity that the person I bought it from, and we're all about charity, as you know.
Yeah.
And basically what happened was I put it out on Twitter, and it got retweeted, and then X-Pac got a hold of it, and X-Pac reached out to the WWE, and then they gave Steven, because we'd already had tickets to the VIP meet and greet at SummerSlam, but they got him in to be the front of the line to meet Triple H and Stephanie. And he stood there talking to them, and it was just like a highlight of his day to meet them. And, you know, because he used to walk around saying, like, it's time to play the game, and like spit his water up in the air. He practices, and he went up to Billy Gunn and told him to suck it once at a Destiny wrestling event. So to meet them, of all people, especially knowing that they don't do that many signings, it meant the world to him. He actually missed a Channing Decker match to go to meet Triple H and Stephanie, because like you don't get that opportunity that often.
No,
So
that's dedication.
yeah, so he was talking with Stephanie, and Stephanie just like fell in love with the boys. It was, pretty sweet to watch their interactions and everything.
Yeah, so he's just an incredible kid. As I said, just by chance, I was just a couple seats away from you and the kids at that Smash show, and we were at that
down at the rec
stage
center.
down at the rec center by the Sky Dome and the CN Tower, and just see that and hear him chirp back at the talent is,
Yeah,
no fear in that yellow guy.
Oh no, like this child, like he's got no fear. We actually warn the people around us when you're sitting around us, like, okay, he's gonna go wild on these wrestlers. He's gonna put them in their place. And actually, we were Amy Crimson from Battle Arts. She came out to a match at Revolution, and Steven was booing her and smack talking her so badly. She actually came up to Steven and thanked him, because she's usually the good person. So she didn't know how to play a heel. But Steven made it that much easier for her to be the heel, because she had someone to banter with, right? So she's like, you made my job easy, and I have to thank you. So she was so sweet with Steven. But it's his passion is like none other. And the fact that he lets loose, like you can see, you've seen him at a wrestling event, man. It's I don't get to go to that many of them, but I love to, and I love seeing him drop his promos, like when he does his ones against like for instance Ricochet Page. He had one. He had one with Ricochet Page. He had one with Ricochet Page that he did when he was fighting Karrion Kross, Killer Kross back then. And he went and told him, basically called him the little, he ended up being called the little jerk from Ricochet Page. And he just continued on. He's like, you're that little jerk from Twitter. And it was hilarious, like absolutely hilarious between the two of them. And then Karrion Kross just had him come to the front of the line to say hi and everything, because Steven had made a present for them, and him and Scarlett. It was really sweet.
Yeah, I've seen that picture as well. And that's the one thing I love about independent shows, is being able to do that chirping. And that's what started the
Sorry,
Scumbags.
I can't hear you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I try and encourage, love it when people are able to interact with the talent instead of sitting on their hands and doing nothing.
I can't hear you. Try to read your lips, but I can't hear you. Do you want me to join back in?
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure what's going on your
one second.
Okay. Yeah. I hope everybody can still hear me. I'm not sure what's going on. It could be my end, because Chad had mentioned that there was bad audio earlier, and gotta figure this out. But yeah, so I definitely encourage people to chirp away instead of sitting on their hands. And Steven definitely brings the go on that one. There we go. She's coming back in.
There, I can hear you now.
Okay, works. Yeah, I don't know. I know I heard some buzzing on your end, if you were getting a phone call or something, or.
Yeah. My little guy was not Steven. I'm sitting outside, but Liam was calling Steven's little brother, the one that loves Roman.
No, so I was going to say, I love it when people are able to interact and cheer and even chirp back and forth, because like when people are sitting on their hands, that totally takes away from the show, and because the talent feeds off it as that regards. And that's sort of what happened with Scumbags of Wrestling getting born in a London show against the wrestling nerds, because they were on one side, we were on the other, and going back and forth, and the people on the other sides were like, wow, and getting into it as well. But because we were on opposite sides, the talent we're getting into it made the show really that much better. And I encourage everybody just to do that and be a part of it. You can go maybe a little too far, but as long as you don't get to that point, it's part of the show and a great part of being on the indie shows.
It really is, and that's one of the things that Steven loves about the indie shows and what he misses so much is he loves to razz the wrestlers, but he just loves the atmosphere. Like we went to Chinlock Wrestling in Kingston in 2019 for Father's Day weekend, and he was sitting there in the crowd, and Hornswoggle was fighting RJ City, and Steven has a war with RJ. Has it going every time he goes to a match, So he started a chant, and it ended up going through the whole arena saying "Swoggle's gonna kill you." And then he played along with it. Like he would pretend he had guns. He was gonna shoot him. He's like to Jimmy Kadairis. He's like, "Look, he's got a gun. Like he's gonna shoot me." So as soon as Jimmy would come take the gun, he would start another one. Steven would just keep chanting louder, like "Swoggle's gonna kill you." He continued it when he went to Greektown. We make shirts for Steven to go to the shows, and just in general, and a portion of everything we sell also goes to Steven's charity that you mentioned earlier. And then he made one for RJ City that had the city skyline on the front of it, said RJ City on the back of it, but then on the back it has a big leprechaun hat and says "Killed by Swoggle, June 15th, 2019." And in the spirit of things, RJ just put it on. Like RJ is like, Steven used him as his announcing thing at Destiny Wrestling when they had a contest, and he beat up 9 adults because of how much he razzed RJ. He's like, we all know he's a comedian because we all know he can't wrestle. So it was just.
I saw that one on when it happened. Destiny was posting that contest, and was not surprised that Steven ended up winning that one. But yeah, so it's awesome that he's able to do everything he has. And with the struggles that Steven goes through with life, and does not take it as a negative, and has turned it all totally into a positive.
And we have wrestling to thank for it. Like honestly, like the wrestling community on a whole, Steven was so depressed after his first brain surgery, like being told he couldn't do anything. And then so for all of you guys to just rally around him and support him, it gives him so much strength. Like as a mom, I can't even tell you how much it means. Like I showed you where the Scumbags poster was, like that, because that's right in front of like his bed where he can look at it every morning. Below his never give up sign, beside his John Cena's. So like he's got a special area that he has special things for him, and he's got his tables, his smashed tables behind him. Like it's the community. He's got his Chinlock posters. It's something that he surrounds himself with because it keeps him fighting. The love and support that all of you guys do, it keeps him fighting and keeps him not giving up.
Yeah, and I mentioned to you also when we were chatting the other day that we will be doing a second one of those shirts when things get back to hopefully normal and shows start up again, and that way we'll have 2 choices. And we did 22 stars of the independent scene and Tyson Duke's Wrestle Factory and stuff like that, but there's so many more guys on the indie scene, including Channing Decker and all them, that we did not include because you can only get so many on there. And I'm going to ask Steven for his list of who he thinks we should reach out to and get put on the new shirt.
He's gonna love that. He's gonna totally love that. He's gonna be like, "How long do you have, Shawn? Do you have all day to stay with me?"
Yeah, almost
like we need this person for this reason, and then this person for this reason.
Yeah, so I'm thinking people like Channing. You got your Holden Albrights and all them that definitely did not make it on there. Fight or Flight. So many to put out there.
Frankie.
Yep. So yeah, so many to mention and figure out and get on there, and I'm looking forward to being able to do that and continue our connection and work for Steven and with Steven.
Yeah, he's so grateful to the support that you guys have given him, and like $500. I'm like, wow, like he didn't know the amount. I hadn't told him. He was very, very touched by it. He's like, Mom, when he got off, he's like, Mom, like $500 for Chiari research, because he's right. We are about 15 years behind the States in research, and there's no research being done because there's no cure here for it. So pharmaceuticals don't want to support. So that's why Steven's like, I don't want other kids to go through what I went through. So he wants to find a way to get research done. And his neurosurgeon's actually the one that's going to head the research fund to go to the States and get more research for here in Canada so people can understand a little bit more.
Excellent. So yeah, hopefully that works out. And I mentioned about the page for that. Once again, fundraise at .sickkidsfoundation.com/StevensHeart/home. And all the information is there about Steven's condition and how to donate. And also use the hashtag Steven Hearts for Chiari. So that's how you can get involved with that. And by the end of the weekend, that should definitely be looking at, I'm just looking at the number here, should probably save about $5,600 by the time we finish the weekend.
Awesome. And then the other way, if people want to donate, they can also do, if they like, we're setting up monthly donations, they can also do that through the general Sick Kids page. Just put the Stevens information in it, like Stevens Hearts for Chiari, and they'll hook it up that way as well. So he's going to be very excited. And then once wrestling is back, we are going to take a nice big picture of you with a big check with Steven to put up on the page, because honestly, we're so grateful for you guys.
Yeah, we're happy to do that. Like, my only thing is, as long as I break even on anything, I'm not out for profit, and my wife's happy that it goes wherever I want. We both work with people with disabilities, and we give back to their community as much as possible. And that's the main thing. And I do this for fun. So when a profit is made, I can go and get all this expensive equipment, but what's that going to do? But I know donating it elsewhere is going to help out somewhere else and go a lot further.
It is. We truly appreciate it. Everything means so much. When people like you, it just makes the community, that shows how big and connected the community is, and how much support everyone has. Like, it's a community where you literally feel like family. Like, when you're talking with someone, it's like your family. Like, that's it.
Yeah, and well, that was proven a couple of years ago when the Buffalo Brothers had their accident, and everybody just reached out. It wasn't a wrestling thing. It wasn't a fan thing. It was everybody as a community thing, reaching out for them, and everybody does that with Steven. So it doesn't matter where you're from.
No, it doesn't. Actually, on the Buffalo Brothers thing, I remember when Daniel Garcia came back, Steven lost his mind at a show at Greektown, because he was just he's such a big Buffalo Brothers fan. And he missed all of them so much. And I think when he saw Kevin Blackwood for the first time, he didn't let go of him because he was just so happy to see them. Yeah.
I can imagine. We did that with Kevin Bennett when he first returned at London show. And then I was at Garcia's return at Smash's show in Toronto during SummerSlam weekend. And just jaw-dropping to see him back and going against Bennett. And so it doesn't matter who you are, like wrestling fan or not, the indie scene is a one big family.
It's true.
So, well, thank you for being a part of this, and
thank you for having me on.
Yeah, for sure, and let you get back to your family, and we'll spread the word. I'm going to do some updates on our website and make sure it's out there front and center for people to be able to donate.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and have an amazing birthday.
Thank you again, and we'll talk down the road.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good night. So wow, this whole show was definitely a nice way of getting the word out for Steven and making sure people are able to support. Chad is letting us know that the Leafs game is tied 1-1, second period. Go Leafs, go. And once again, thank you, Chad, for a happy birthday. Greetings there. So those watching the Leafs and Habs, who knows what's going to happen? People think that the Habs are definitely the underdogs, but who knows how far the Leafs are going to make it, because, well, it is the Leafs. I have to be honest, I don't follow any specific team. I follow former London Knights players. So there's a whole bunch of them scattered throughout the NHL playoffs. And as long as one of them ends up with the cup, I'm happy as a camper. There's a lot of former Knights on both sides of the Leafs and Canadians right now tonight. So I'll be checking that out as soon as we get out of here, which is going to be in just a couple seconds, really. So want to remind everybody to join us for Fantasy Warfare Tournament. Last night we did the greatest finishing maneuvers, including strikes such as stunners, RKOs, tombstones, super kicks, you name it, 16 of them. You can always catch us on that. Earlier today, we did This Week in History with Jonesy and I. That happens every Thursday at noon. And, of course, you can join us here for the podcast Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, barring any mishaps and things going on with life. And also next week, we'll be doing a special show involving the Scumbags Prediction League and going over what's happening for AEW's Double or Nothing. The Scumbags Prediction League is brought to us by CoolBet. Stay cool, bet responsibly, and you can win the championship belt. We are part of the Johners Podcasting Network, and we are also working on a thing with Matthew Terry for Time to Fight. In October, there's going to be a Wrestling with ALS event that we are going to be a part of. We're figuring out what our part in it's going to be, and we're going to help raise funds that way on behalf of Wrestling for ALS and Matthew Terry putting that together. So I think that's all we got going on. I read most of the news that really mattered. Everything else pretty much out of date, and we can move on from that. So join us next Wednesday for Fantasy Warfare Tournament, and hope you all have a great night. I'm ready to crack one open, so take it easy.
You know what Tyson, Tarek, Brett, and Jody Threat has in common? They all support Scumbags Wrestling. And if you buy this poster or shirt, all the money goes to my charity. So please buy one.
If you want a variety of wrestling news and history, look no further than the Scumbags of Wrestling family of shows. On Wednesday nights at 6 p.m., join Shawn, Steven, and Jonesy as we look for the best of the best and break it all down in a unique tournament format on Fantasy Warfare Tournament. Then Thursdays at noon, take a look back at the rich history of our great sport with This Week in History. Relive title changes, births, deaths, and some of the best events of all time. Finally, join us for the latest in wrestling news, show results, and predictions Thursday nights at 8 p.m. for the Scumbags Wrestling Podcast. The Scumbags of Wrestling can be found on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram, along with our audio versions on Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else you get your podcasts from. We're a proud part of the Ontario Indie Wrestling Podcast Network and the Johners Podcast Network.